everyone, I hope you're doing really well. My name's Evelyn from An Empath's Guide Book Reviews and Writer's Corner, and today I'm here with a tips video for NaNoWriMo. So it is, as of today, the 16th of July, so it's just halfway through the month of July, which is NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo month. So for those who don't know, Camp NaNoWriMo is Camp National Novel Writing Month, and it's basically an online writing challenge where you set yourself a number of words that you would like to write this month, and then you just write and try and finish that. So it's about halfway now, and I've set myself a target of 70,000 words, and I'm 49% through that, so pretty much on target. So I thought I would make this video just giving, I guess, a few tips or tricks to anyone who finds themselves falling behind at Camp NaNoWriMo this month and would like a little bit of motivation to write as much as they can and to meet their target and just do their best. So the first tip is to create a flow state. A flow state basically means getting in the zone. And it means you're so engrossed in that activity that you're doing, which is writing, that all the other distractions, whatever they may be, fall away and they kind of just disappear. And the writing is all that exists to you in that moment. Writers think that they need to be in a flow state as soon as they put pen to paper, as soon as they start typing. But it doesn't usually work this way. Often a flow state is something that is achievable, but you have to work at it first and you have to commit. So if you're not feeling the inspiration, or if you find yourself rereading what you've written a lot, or doubting whether what you're writing is any good, or thinking that it's crap, those are all things that are not conducive to a flow state, because you're thinking about all the other things that are a distraction to your writing. Commit yourself to writing at least a quarter of your word count, or at least a half of your word count non-stop before you get up, and try in that time just to, as best you can, not to think of all the other stuff. Just put your pen to paper or type and just don't stop for the first quarter or for the first half. Now I say that because the first quarter or the first half of what you're writing in your word count is more like a warm-up. So in a warm-up, you're kind of just exercising your creative muscles, just stretching them more like, and you're just getting a feel for writing, you're just getting into the habit, you're getting out of your thinking mind, which is very kind of tense often and analyzing, and you're letting it relax and kind of flow into your creative mind. And I find personally that that doesn't usually happen straight away when you sit down to write. So just think of the first quarter or half as a warm-up and just do your best to not get up before that time. The second tip I have is turn your internet off. I know this is a hard one for us, but I found that when I decided not to use the internet while I was writing, it was so conducive to my creativity and my productivity. And to do this, I actually also started writing on paper at the same time, and I went back to discovery writing from outlining. I found this helped so much because we live in a world where a whole world of distraction is available at the click of a button, and if you're already feeling doubtful or you're not really feeling like writing to begin with, just clicking on that Google Chrome is so easy, and then you go down this rabbit hole and there's millions of distractions to stop you writing. So if you just take away the computer or the internet, just put aside your phone and all the social media and just everything, you'll find that you give yourself the space and create the space to write, and that becomes the primary focus of your activity. If you create that actual physical space, it becomes a lot easier. And another thing I do is that I stopped doing research while I was writing, because that's not really a creative thing, that's more of a left brain thing. So what I'll do now is, if I need to research something or look it up, I'll actually just make a note in the margin of the notebook that I'm working in pencil, and I'll come back to it at the end of the day after I've done my allocated word count and look it up then. or alternatively I'll just save it for the second draft when it will become more important to know that thing. So again, I'm not going down a rabbit hole of researching on the internet, which is also so easy to do. So the third tip that I have is take regular writing breaks. This made a huge difference to my productivity as well. Before I started taking writing breaks, I'd work for about 1.5 hours or 2 hours, and I could do it, but I found that my writing was just getting sloppier. It was taking me a longer time to get the same amount of words out. So I started following the habit of a lot of the world's most successful musicians, and they actually break down their practice time into 1 hour slots, and within that 1 hour they'll set themselves a very specific goal at the start of what they're practicing, and practice intensely with concentration for 1 hour, and then they'll take a 10 to 20 minute break afterwards that is constructive, and then go back to do another hour. And I just find it super useful because you kind of just hit the refresh button after that, so to speak, and you'll just find that you get more ideas when you sit down to write again. Things are fresh and things are exciting again. And even if you're only writing for half an hour, just taking a 5-minute break or even a 2-minute break in between, in the middle of that, will help your creativity, and it will help you be able to get through the next 15 minutes so much easier without like your mind wandering. Some scientists actually estimate these days that the average person's attention span is 8 seconds, which I don't really think I believe. That's a really short period of time, and you can definitely train yourself to work for longer periods of time. It's just about conditioning and having that discipline, but do make sure that you're taking regular breaks, because that will refresh your mind and keep it clear. The next tip I have is something that I also love to do. It is reading in my writing breaks. I think that this is the absolute most constructive, best thing to do during your writing breaks. Not only is it fun and one of my favorite things to do, it's also constructive because it keeps you in that creative zone, it keeps your imagination stimulated, and reading is one of the most useful things you can do if you want to write well. And even if you're not reading a good book, I think Stephen King has said even the bad books will teach you good things about writing. And Stephen King has also said to be a great writer you need to read prolifically, and that he gives you permission to read and write for 6 hours of your day, or however long you want to read and write. So on behalf of Stephen King, I will today give you that permission that you should be reading, that you can be reading in your writing breaks, and that it will also help you get into that creative flow state that will make it so much more fun and easy to write. So the final and fifth tip I have today is to be kind to yourself. So NaNoWriMo, I think, is a big challenge, Camp NaNoWriMo, and not all of us are actually used to carving out time every single day in our lives for writing. For some, it's a very new experience, and the goals that we set at the start of the month may seem achievable, but then life happens. You know, your whole life isn't being put on hold just because you have Camp NaNoWriMo this month. There are still responsibilities, there are still duties, unexpected things may occur, like family emergencies. You never really know what's going to happen. So if you are a little bit behind on your writing word count, or you're not doing as well as you thought you would or you want to do, please just remember to be kind to yourself. It is fantastic that you even showed up to do this challenge. It does show that you are committed. Many people wouldn't have bothered perhaps if they weren't serious. So just getting involved shows that you are serious and you are committed to your writing. So I think it's good to remember that even if we don't have the best writing day, it's important not to feel guilty about what we didn't do, because you don't want to go to bed with that kind of guilt towards your writing, because you're going to wake up with that guilt, and it just doesn't help creativity, doesn't help self-esteem. So just remember to forgive yourself, be kind to yourself, be gentle, treat yourself like your own best friend, and when you wake up the next day, just think of it as a new day. And find that balance between pushing yourself to do the absolute best you can do, and then knowing when life is happening and you just need to be present for the other things going on in your life. That is pretty much it, I think. And if you're watching this and doing Camp NaNoWriMo, thank you for being my camping buddy. And just remember that this is not the end. I mean, we're all people who love writing, and so we'll probably be writing for the rest of our lives. So no matter what happens, here's to writing always, because it's one of the best things ever. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Camp NaNoWriMo experience. I know I will. Have lots of fun. If you like this video and you'd like to see more writing tip videos or book review videos or just random musings on anything bookish and anything Radley, please feel free to like and subscribe. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you soon. And thank you so much for watching. Take care and lots of love. Bye.